Welcome, everyone. We are live. Today is Monday, and we're ready for the week ahead, are we not? We are ready for the week ahead. Well, I just happened to be on LinkedIn the other day. And for those of you on Fanbase, you'll see the link there in the top. And as I was reading it, I thought, well, isn't this interesting? It says, neuroscience reveals something. And I was like, it does? Do tell me more. And just to sum it up, they were talking about how complaining has the same effect as trauma would have on your brain. And I said, oh, do tell me more. And you know me, I was like, do I comment or do I not? So I commented and I said, well, the law has been saying this forever. The principle of correspondence, as within, so without. You see, we as people, we think that venting or complaining is just it's part of existing. Yes, it is. Because it is how we express ourselves and what we feel. But it is the cumulative effect of continuously complaining about the same problem. Why does it have that effect? Remember, as within, so without. It is the complaining, right? Cumulatively. It's not a one-off thing. No. It is day in and day out. What is it actually doing? Well, the principle of correspondence tells us as within, so without, as above, so below. But how? How do you put that into layman's terms in a way that we can apply it to our lives? As within. It is that thing that you feel all the time, that you complain about. It is within. Because you've experienced it. It's a memory. Now, that memory has formed a neurological pathway in your brain, like literally speaking. It has formed a neurological pathway in your brain. And that neurological pathway is the way you will act every time. If you think about it, tying your shoes, driving, the way you chew, the way you write, those are neurological pathways in the brain, and you do them the same way every time. So when you complain, when we as people complain over and over and over and over, we are forming a neurological pathway in our brain so that every time something similar matches what we have gone through, we behave in the same way over and over again. Now, what is the as above, so below part? Well, as above in the brain, what you're doing, it has to show itself somewhere. Where does it show itself? It shows itself in the physical body. It shows itself in your body. Now, in TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, each organ has an emotion that it is linked with. Okay? Each organ has an emotion that it is connected to, interiorly and exteriorly related, as within, so without, right? Like lungs, internal, nose, external, as within, so without. But lungs deal with grief, sadness. Liver, anger, repressed emotion, right? There's always that correspondence as within, so without. So when we are complaining or reminiscing, remembering our quote unquote trauma, especially the more it plays out in your mind, the more you remember it and recall it and live in it and talk about it externally, the more you do that, you are wiring yourself to continually experience it over and over and over. It is a rehearsal. So the more you rehearse those things, we know what the result of rehearsal is: performance. So along comes the neuroscience, and they do their studies, and they tell you, well, this is what's happening inside your body. And I'm looking at this and I'm reading this article and I'm like, yeah, but the Hermetic principles say these things every day. But because we cannot see the corresponding experience, we don't think that it is real. You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't see right away what complaining does, we don't think it has any bearing on our lives and our experiences. When in actuality, it is what is ruling you from the shadows. You see, we don't have to open our mouths to complain. You can silently complain. But what if I couldn't speak, Angela? You don't think we can complain? Oh, yes. It is the way that you feel. And then you vocalize how you feel because we can speak, yes? So how do you fix that problem? How do you fix the problem so that you stop suffering the effects of it? Well, the same way the Hermetic principles tells you, as within, so without. So you have to get something new within so that the external can change. And how do you get it within? The same way you have it within right now, by repeating it over and over and over and over. So we learn a new way. And it is the repetition of that new way that solidifies it in our brains, aka muscle memory. This is what happens, what transpires. So what we're dealing with right now, the problem, remember, the seed of the solution is in every problem. So if the problem of complaining got us where we are, but Angela, you're trying to say that I shouldn't talk about my problems? I didn't say one should not speak about their problem. You acknowledge the problem, my beautiful friends. Acknowledge that. Recognize it and you say, oh, snap, I've got me a problem. When you acknowledge the problem, now you have a decision to make. Use the principle of polarity. Right now, you are polarized, meaning facing the direction of the problem, thereby feeding it, keeping it alive. And we all know Neville Goddard says that things wither and die for want of attention. So does that mean you ignore the problem? No, one cannot ignore the problem. Are you kidding? Ignore? You can try as you like, but one does not ignore the problem. One acknowledges the problem and says, oh, snap. This thing has been running me ragged for years, and I don't want it anymore. So then you turn your attention towards what you would like to experience instead. Well, how do you turn your attention towards what you want to experience instead? Well, that's easy. The same way you turn your attention towards what you don't want. Talk about it, feel it, think about it, right? So in your mind's eye, your imagination, not to be confused with child's play, because imagination is not child's play. Imagination is where we create from. Mm? When we get into our mind's eye and we say, what would I like to experience instead of this? What would I like to experience? And you start to answer that question. Well, you look at what you're experiencing now. And then when you ask yourself, well, what would I prefer to experience instead? Well, you start to answer that. I would like to experience this, or I would like to experience this. I think my life would be better if I had this experience. And what are you doing there? You are polarizing yourself in the direction of what you want to become. Remember that things wither and die for want of attention. So what you want to become now has your attention. What you want to become now has your attention. How do you know it has your attention? Because you are here painting the picture of, I would like to experience this and this and this. Ooh, yes, and this. Oh, my life would be beautiful with this in it. But you realize it's not a one-off thing, is it? It is a what now? A daily thing. Why? Because the present problem has been fed for days and weeks and months and years, and it is strong. So in order to weaken it, you don't give it your attention to weaken it. Oh, no, no, no. You put your attention upon that which you want to become and feed that because you know you can only serve one master. Hmm? So as you are busy feeding, and how do you feed the new? You go over the same way you reminisce. You go over the thing. Oh, you did this to me. Oh, you know what? I would like to experience this. And if I was living this way, I'd get out of bed how? What mental attitude would I have if I got out of bed with this new life? And that is what you practice. That is what you give your attention to. Why? What's happening as you give your attention to that new way? You are beginning to set down a neurological pathway. Yes, you are. Now, a neurological pathway is akin or similar to a field. When you walk down that field, when people walk down the same place all the time, it begins to leave a very obvious footpath. So that when a new person looks at that field, where do you think they're going to walk? The place without the footpath or the place with the footpath? So a neurological pathway is akin to that. It is also if you have experienced snow in your lifetime. Yes, I know. Snow, as it did for the past week, but I digress. When you want to walk in the snow and you put your boots on, like I have to go out to the backyard. I haven't worked up the nerve to go out there yet because it is deep. The snow is above my boots. I will give it a day or so. But when you go out there and you walk, there's no pathway. None. You have to forge a new pathway. So you have to practice. You have to rehearse. So I got to get out there and put these boots on and trudge. Lift one foot, put it down. Lift another foot, put it down. To do what? Make a pathway. So that by the time I make it to the gate and I open it and I come back, where do you think I'm going to walk? The pathway I just made. That is what rehearsal does to us. It forms a neurological pathway that you are going to have to take the next time that you do it. Why are you going to take it the next time? Because it is easier. That is why the more we complain or talk about something, Good, bad, or indifferent, I might add. It's just not with complaining. Don't get it twisted. It's with everything, good, bad, or indifferent. The moment you reminisce and replay that thing in your mind's eye, you're forming a pathway. Oh, yes, a neurological one. You know, they tell you neurons that fire together wire together. And what do you do with that? Use it. Meaning you do the same thing, the same way, every time. Over and over and over again. So today, my beautiful friends, the way out is the way in. Huh? Yes, the way out of where you are is inward, mentally. So to simplify matters for you, there is a mental attitude that you are currently practicing. There is a mental attitude that you are currently practicing. And you may not like it anymore. And it's okay to not like it anymore. Just identify it. Can you put a name to it? Can you say, oh, this is the mental attitude that I have been slinging around for years? Yes, it is. It's a mental attitude that shows up in the physical world as within, so without. This is how it begins. A mental attitude. And then it has the corresponding behavior. It's a mental attitude. That's what will make this easier for you to change, is to know it's not just a thing you're doing. The thing you're doing is on the outside. But why are you doing it? Because the mental attitude has been practiced for such a long time that it has set down a groove in your brain, and it is the path of least resistance, so you will take it every time. Meaning what? You will do the same thing the same way every time, which sounds like what? A habit? Yes, a habit. So you see what a mental attitude is? A habit, one that we have practiced over and over and over and over again. So in order for the new you to emerge, my dear darlings, you must identify the new mental attitude that you want to have. Because it is from that new mental attitude that you will become the new version of yourself. And here we are sitting and thinking, oh my God, that's psychology. No, dearest, it is not psychology. It is law. It is principle. Mentalism. The all is mind. The universe is mental. Not mental as in crazy, mental as in mental, as in the awareness of oneself. And we say these words ad nauseum, don't we? Oh my God, look at my mentality. Your what? Your mentality. Everything that is external has an internal origin. And that internal origin is the mental attitude. And we talk about mental health all the time, as if there's mental sickness. No, it is just something you learned and practiced, now became who you are. We're so quick to tell somebody, oh my God, you're mentally ill. What? We are so quick to say that to someone. Oh, you have a mental problem. Uh, yeah, it's called a mental attitude. It's called a habit. It is mental. It can't be anything else. So how do we fix it? by deciding what new mental attitude you want to have. Because when you decide the new mental attitude and you begin to practice it, where do you practice that mental attitude? In your imagination. Yes. Why would you practice it there? Because it will move from within you and cause you to do what? The actions on the outside. Well, you need the body. You need the body to do the actions. But in order to tell the body what to do, you need a blueprint, which is your mental attitude. Oh, but Angela, you see, like I got this ADD, this ADHD, this ODD, this OCD, this. And I'm here to tell you, unless a brain has been like damaged physically, like you're missing part of it died, atrophied, it's going to behave differently. But the reason why left controls right and right controls left in everybody is because all brains work the same. They work the same. That's how you know what you're looking at, because it has the same pattern. And because it has the same pattern, you can predict its behavior. So when we start saying things like, my ADHD, you still think, you still feel, you still experience the world. Yeah, Angela, but I experience it differently, as we all do. I'm not here to tell you that what you're going through isn't real and isn't valid. It is. But what I'm trying to say to you is you have to change the mental attitude in order to rewire. You know, they used to tell people that when you hit a certain age, you can't learn anything new. And then all of a sudden they came out with this new phrase called neuroplasticity, which means what? You can reprogram the brain to do just about anything. So, how does one reprogram the brain? A mental attitude. A mental attitude. You know, when you say to somebody, oh my God, you have like the worst attitude. Oh my God, you have such a great attitude. How do you know? How do you know it's a good attitude or a bad attitude? You see the actions on the outside. So, you get inside your mind's eye and you decide upon which mental attitude you want to embody. And you rehearse it in there. Now, what behavior would it take on? The way you walk, the way you talk, the way you communicate, the way you speak, the way you interact with others. So when you see that new person that you want to become, it has behaviors associated with it. It has corresponding behaviors, that new mental attitude. So you begin to see yourself. Where do you see yourself? In your mind's eye. See yourself being that new attitude. And as you see yourself over and over and over and over and over and over and over, every moment, as you see yourself being that, you are now doing what inside your brain? Setting down a neurological pathway that you're going to follow, so that every time you want to be that new person, you're going to follow the new pathway you set down. But Angela, it is so hard to do that. It is so hard to change who I am. Only because you haven't been practicing it long enough. That's the only reason why. How do you think muscle memory is formed? How many times do you have to practice that kick? How many times do you have to practice that jab? How many times do you think Muhammad Ali had to hit that ball or the bag, I should say, until he could do it with his eyes closed. He didn't start out hitting it real fast. Same for Bruce Lee. He didn't start out with those kicks and punches real quickly either. Jet Li, Jackie Chan, none of them. Flo Jo. What's her name? The gymnast? Simone Biles. You think she could run down the mat and flip and tumble because she did it once? One does not form muscle memory one time. One has to do it and do it and do it and do it and do it until the pathway in your brain solidifies itself so that when your coach says, give me a double whatever pass, you think she has to stop and ask, what is that? No, she does not. But you see, we think that complaining and gymnastics are somehow different. We think that quote unquote gratitude is different from track and field when you're doing hurdles. It is not different. All you are doing is the same thing the same way every time so that you can do it with your eyes closed, so that you can do it. You have to rehearse it so you can do it. So when a man like Neville Goddard comes along and says to persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, he says to you, live in the end. You know what he's telling you? He's telling you, see in your mind's eye what you want to become and rehearse it. Scientists are telling their athletes with the little probe caps on, run the race. They're sitting in a chair and your coach is telling you to run a race. You're not on the track, so where are you running this race? In your mind's eye. And a funny thing begins to happen. I told you before, the machine starts to go boop, boop, boopity, boop, boop. And what are they doing? They're recognizing that all of the muscles that are used to run the race are firing. How? As within, so without. So every time that we get up and we say, hey, I can't. I've been through too much, Lord. Every time you get up and you say that, you solidify the pathway. You solidify the pathway to keep you there. So learn the art of self-polarization. Turn your attention from what you know you presently are and turn it towards what you want to become. What you want to become has a mental attitude and it has corresponding behaviors. And the way to do it is to rehearse it mentally. You all know Beyonce. She gets up and she's on stage and she's shaking that groove thing. Do you know how many times she's had to rehearse so she can shake that groove thing in choreography and in sync with everybody? Okay, then. Yeah. You know how many times Naomi Campbell had to walk that runway with the same strut every time? Hey, man, you know how many times? But yet, we want to think that our experiences are somehow different, and they are not. They're not different. They have the same point of origin. Mental. It is mental. I remember that one time Simone Biles said it had something to do with how she felt. And she was saying, really, in essence, if you do it, you're going to hurt yourself. Like if you try and push through that thing, you're going to hurt yourself. Because she couldn't see the end. She couldn't see how to land. She had become so affected by something else that it had taken over her pathways and what she was so used to doing. And so she had to stop. When you begin to recognize that you are overwhelmed, that is your cue to stop and take a break and reassess and say, whoa, what's going on here? And when you can recognize what's going on, the solution is the same. Polarize yourself in the direction of where you want to be. You want clarity? Well, then stop spewing confusion. I don't know what to do. I'm scared. What do you mean you don't know what to do? You do know what to do. You just are caught up in how to do it. Neville Goddard says the how is not your job. When you plant corn, you don't ask, how is my corn going to grow? You plant it and you know that it will grow. It is that knowing that what you do will show itself. So today, my beautiful friends, as um I don't know how to say your name. Olo, W9G, mental health is real because mental is all there is. Melly Mel is in the house. Listen, mental health is all there is. But what is mental? What does it mean? It means you are aware of your very existence. And I love the way, as I tell you, that Neville Goddard put it because he waxes poetic, you know. Our Bajans are so verbose. He says, you can forget who you are. You can forget where you are, but you cannot forget that you are. You will always know that you are. What's the first thing you say? Oh my God, I forgot where I was going. Who forgot where they were going? I forgot where I was going. You may forget who you are and where you are, but you always know that you are. That is mentalism. The all is. The all is aware of itself. You are aware of yourself. Now, what are you doing? What are you aware of yourself doing? That is the principle of correspondence, as within, so without, as above, so below. What are you aware of yourself doing? And I will tell you one more time how to change it, because you know, you get me started. It's hard pressed to rein me in some days. Don't we know that? Step one, acknowledge where you are and what you are doing. Acknowledge the problem because you experienced it. It has carved itself in your brain. You can feel it. It is real to you. Yes. It is valid. Yes. Acknowledge it. Now, in that acknowledgement, would you like to remain as you are, or do you want to change? Do you want to embody something else? Well, now that you know you want to embody something else, be someone else, what is that? What is it that you want to become? And I know there are those who say, oh, but Angela, you're trying to tell me that I can go and become anything I want to be? Yes and no. Why no? Because it is relative. I don't want to get up and be a pilot because that's not what I want to be. Just like you don't want to get up and be whatever that is, but you know what you want to become. That is where you put your attention, not with the hypothetical. We don't live in hypotheticals. We live by way of what we know. So I want to be a dancer. Never danced a day in your life, but you want to be. That's not what you actually want. What is it that you genuinely want to become? Ah, that's where it is. Now there's an attitude that goes with that. There are accompanying behaviors that go with that. And you begin to rehearse it in your mind's eye. Again, Neville Goddard says to experience in imagination what you would be doing in reality if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be. That's step two. And in that step two, you have just learned how to polarize yourself. Well, how? Because you took your attention from complaining about what you didn't want, to what? To where you want to be. Remember the house plant? Things wither and die for want of attention. You don't water it, you don't talk to it, you don't brush its leaves, you don't do nothing. You just forget about it. And you come back and go, oh my God, my baby. And the plant is gone because it withered and died for want of attention. So to polarize yourself, you have to turn your attention towards what you want to become. I want to be rich. Okay, rich is a word. What is the mental attitude of rich? So, in other words, you're looking for security. Well, that's the mental attitude of rich. They don't have to worry about bills. They got that shit on auto pay. Mm-hmm. What is the mental attitude of what you want to become? Then rehearse it in your mind's eye. Do you rehearse it one day? You rehearse it 2 days? You rehearse it 3 days? And then call me and ask, Angela, when is this thing going to happen? Nothing is changing because you've just repolarized yourself in the old direction. Well, how do you know you've repolarized yourself in the old direction? Because you're asking, when is this thing going to happen? You don't have to ask when it is going to happen. What do you know? You know that when you rehearse something so much that it becomes muscle memory for you, you don't have to worry about rehearsing anymore. You will catch yourself and go, "Oh my God, I just did it and I didn't have to think about it." Ah, that's when you know. So don't stop and ask, when is it going to change? Because the moment you ask, when is it going to change, you have just repolarized yourself in the old direction. Keep your attention upon that which you want to thrive. Why? Because things wither and die for want of attention. So if you want to keep something alive, give it your attention, which means to rehearse it, practice it, see it in your mind's eye, fall asleep in that mental attitude, wake up in that mental attitude. And sure enough, you will begin to embody it. Not because I say so, because the principles say so, as within, so without, as above, so below. And now neuroscience is coming along and putting it to you in layman's terms and telling you that, oh my God, the neurons that fire together, and that's what you'll behave like. So let me welcome everyone who's here because whoo, my chat is lit up this morning. Ow, somebody taking notes. Ooh, mm, I'm loving it this morning. Listen, YouTube and Facebook are bumping today. Who's here? So Olo W9G, welcome to the space. I said that name before? Sugar, have I? I don't know. And then we've got, I have to scroll backwards. Whoo, you girl have to scroll backwards in YouTube chat this morning. Michael Justice, 1460, hello. And at Human League, hello to you too. Yes. Melly Mel is in a house. Yes. You know what? Olo. Oh, Olo Club X. Are you in there twice under two different names? I see you. I am pleased that you've put all these things in the chat because when the replay gang show up, you took some beautiful notes. Step one, acknowledge the challenge. Step two, what do you want to experience? He says, don't ask when it will happen. Rehearse until it happens without thinking about it. See what I'm saying? I appreciate these notes that you've kept here for the replay gang because it is so important that we grasp it. Why does it matter? I can tell you step three. Step three is the knowing that what you rehearse in step two, you will perform. It has nothing to do with hoping and wishing. No. It has nothing to do with that. And the reason why I give you the sports and the athletes is because they are the embodiment of it. The seamstress is as well. The chef, the potter, they're all embodying these 3 steps. I told you, learn the 7 principles and apply them in 3 steps and change your life 180 degrees. That's my ebook, by the way. It is. Oh, snap. So, step 3 is the knowing that what you rehearse, you perform. That is no secret. It is cold hard fact. You go out there and you look at the David Goggins of the world. Look at him. He performs what he rehearses. Hmm? Mike Tyson performs what he rehearses. And that's why I said to you, it is not limited to sports. It is not limited to sports. The process between living and doing sports. Who's doing sports? The one who is living. Which means you and I can do the same things because it all has the same point of origin, mental. So that is step 3. Know that what you rehearse, it does not matter what you rehearse, good, bad, or indifferent. It is that you rehearse, you perform what you rehearse. So choose wisely what you will rehearse. Will you rehearse complaining or will you rehearse gratitude? Gratitude is an effect. So now that you know what you know and you've learned this, now you can look in the mirror and say, whew, let me test this out because I'm sure glad and I'm thankful that I learned it. But what is the point of learning if not to apply? Hmm. See? See? Who's here on Fanbase? Ray Ray is in the house. Oh, I'm happy is in the house. Oh, KZ, my sweet, is in the house. Oracle Tree House. I see you, girl. Big Mike. Ooh, is in the house. Oh, Commander is in the house. And Miss McQueen is in the house. What's the chat looking like on Fanbase? Exactly, Commander. We can only service one idea at a time. Indeed. Imagine again and again and again. Oh, Ray Ray, you are too sweet. Ray Ray says, adhering to Angela's podcast for almost 2 years. Ray Ray, has it been that long? Has it been 2 years since I've known you, Ray Ray? Really? Miss McQueen, really? And he says, what I've learned here is priceless. Oh. You guys sure how to make a girl, you sure know how to make a girl speechless. And for me, that is a little challenging to do, if you know what I'm saying. But what I'm saying to you is just what Olo Club X just said. Why learn? To apply. To apply. To apply. That's why we learn things, so that we can apply them. Acknowledge, experience in imagination, and know that what you experience in imagination, you will become. Not if you will become it. Becoming it is now inevitable because you are rehearsing it. So when you walk out here in these streets today, Know within your heart, your what? Your awareness, your mind's eye. Know that I will always become what I practice. So, what are you going to do? You go get it right, get it tight, aren't you? With your rehearsal. And you think you're going to have to pick up the phone and call somebody and say, "I'm stuck?" No. You won't have to do that. You think you'll come upon a situation and say, "However will I fare? How will I get out?" You think you'll have to do that? No, because you will acknowledge the problem and you will begin to experience in imagination what you would be doing if that problem was solved. And you will know that when you rehearse, you will perform. Tell me again how you can't make it in life. You know what? I will not be hollering at you. Because sometimes I feel like I'm hollering at you. Oh, Lord. And Twitter, Yoda Green was here on Twitter this morning. Twitter is usually for the replay game, too. But with that, my beautiful friends, I was encouraged yesterday. Oh, yes, I really was. Truly encouraged to stay the course. Of course. Which one of us doesn't want to just throw in the towel? Of course we do. Sometimes we get heavy with life and living. But if you can remember how to lighten the load, then you're in the thick of things. See, this is the thing with rehearsal, right? We are constantly having to remind ourselves how to lighten the load by implementing the 3 steps so that we can apply the 7 principles. But there will come a time in your life where you won't have to remember to apply them. You'll be living them deliberately. So all of these things that we're facing and we say, "Oh, I can't go on." And you feel like you can't go on. You'll remember, wait a minute, wait a minute. Let me repolarize myself. I feel like I can't go on. But what do I know? What do I know? I know that what I rehearse, I will perform. So this feeling of I can't go on, let me stop. Let me stop that madness right now. Because if I rehearse that. So thank you, each and every one of you, for being here today. Every single one of you encouraged me so beautifully in your own way. And you remind me why I do what I do. Because when I hear your testimonies that you share with me so beautifully, when I share my testimonies with you, because I don't ever want you to feel like I don't go through things. Because I do. Oh, I complain. What, you think I'm exempt? Oh, I complain. But I've got to catch myself because it is the cumulative effect. That's why I say, get it off your chest, stomp it out if you need to, scream it out if you need to, just get it out so that now you can repolarize yourself in the direction you want to be in. Don't pretend that it isn't there. Don't pretend you don't have problems. Acknowledge them. And so that's why I do my very best to refrain from speaking about my problems or even thinking about them. But I always practice polarizing, mentally polarizing myself to where. Because I know that things wither and die for want of attention. Things, yes. All things wither and die for want of attention. The moment you remove your attention from a relationship, from a plant, from a cat, from a dog, from a baby, you remove your attention, it won't be in your life very much longer. So that's why I say thank you to each and every one of you for encouraging me on a daily basis. Your emails, your notes, your calls. God, I just love you guys. Such a beautiful symbiotic relationship we have. We pour into each other. Indeed. Sometimes you're the teacher to me, and I'm the student to you. Other times I'm the teacher, you're the student. It is a beautiful relationship, and I love it, and I will cherish each and every one of you. I will continue to cherish each and every one of you. And with that, my beautiful friends, I shall leave you with this. We learn why, so we can apply. Oh, snap. Who's waxing poetic? I'm a poet and I didn't know it. You know what? Let me stop. Let me stop. Oh, Oxamite. Hello. Anyway, thank you. Thank you so much. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. Uh. Oh, yes. We're going to pull a Bob Marley today. One love is what we will do because that's what the principles are. Unconditional love in action. Think about that. They tell you every day you don't have to remain as you are, you can become. You can go from being the best of the best of the worst of the worst to whichever. And the law says, as within, so without. So you can either reward yourself or punish yourself. Either way, the law is at work. That is unconditional love. It doesn't say, "Oh, you've been a bad boy. You've been a bad girl. I will punish you." It doesn't say that at all. It says, check yourself out before you wreck yourself, Eric. That's what it tells you. Every day it tells you that, so that you will always have the best. That's why that principle, mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender, unconditional love. Ow. Okay, let me go. Because I will stay here if you let me. But my boss may not like that. He gonna be calling my phone. Where you at? Anyhow, I love you all, and I will see you on the morrow. Because parenting really is such sweet sorrow, my darlings. Peace. Mwah. Peace out to all of you, my beautiful friends. All of you. Mm-hmm.
Peace and love. Peace and love to you too, positively, Angela.
Oh, thank you, Commander.
We love you. Have a great day.
You as
Enjoy your
well.
snow.
Ugh. I know Miss McQueen gonna give me that vomit emoji any minute now. Tell me enjoy my snow. I'm not ready. Oh, snap.
Well, just rehearse and you will be ready.
Ow, here it is. Who's the student? I'm the student. Right? There you go. Exactly. Mm. Learn to love scraping the car. Which will inspire me to do what? Get the mental attitude of someone who has a garage. What? Hello? Tomorrow's topic, saturation. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about saturation and suffering tomorrow. Oh, yes, we are. And how to break free of that bad boy. Mm. Anywho, see what you did to me? That's why that topic is tomorrow. You want to be a part of that one. Yes, you will. Anyway, I love you. Mwah. Much love, everybody. Much love.